All right, hey, how's it going? Ally Flies Mike here, and today we're going to be tying something pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys already know, following my Instagram, but we're on the bro staff for Squimpish Flies. I've been meaning to do this video for a while. The Squimpish Hair is probably one of my favorite materials for when it comes to tying hollow flies now. You can get it in extremely long lengths in all sorts of different colors, blended with flash, blended in colors, and David Nelson really knows what he's doing, and I'm just a big fan of the material altogether, so get that in there. So we're going to tie a nice hollow fly today with the Squimpish Hair. I'm going to show you a couple different techniques, and hopefully you'll be able to apply them. You can check out squimpishflies.com, and you can use the coupon code LIFliesMike in all caps for 15% off. So, and don't forget to check out our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/blockwizard, and check out our live fly tying streams every Wednesday and Friday. Let's get right into it. All right, so we have some Partridge Predator X hooks. They're 6 odds. You can go with 8 odds if you'd like. You can also use the Gamakatsu SL12S if you'd like, in different sizes. This is a preferred thread of mine, the Danvile's 210 denier Flatwax nylon. We have a couple different types of angel hair that we're going to be blending in with our Squimpish Hair. Gonna need some lead wire. This is 0.025 diameter. This is going to be for keeling the hook. Gonna need some super glue, preferably brushable. You can pick this up at your local hardware store. Head cement. I'm using Sally Hansen's Artist Nails here. It's something I've been using for years. You're gonna need some Squimpish Hair. This is just a larger patch I have here. So we're gonna be using some white, some olive, some pink, or this is kind of their cotton candy color. And as a little bit of treat, we also have a little bit of alpaca fur. Now, you don't have to use this. You can use craft fur, Senno's laser dub, stuff like that. But we're going to just essentially be filling in the throat with a little bit of this. We'll also be using some Magnum Flashbou. Going to need some adhesive, which we're going to be using E6000 here. You can use Zap Goo or Shoe Goo. And then you're going to need some 3D molded eyes. These are just from Lure Parts Online. It's a great place if you want to get some materials at a pretty good price. These are 3/8, and they're just fairly simple lure 3D molded eyes. We're also going to be using some bucktail, just basic white bucktail. Alright, so what we're going to do is we have our Partridge Predator X 6-odd hook here. I'm just going to start off and lay some thread down on the hook. And go back to right around the hook point. By the way, we're using a Regal Revolution vise. Can't recommend Regal vices enough. All right, so we're gonna be starting out with a little bit of white bucktail here. You can see this tail is almost done. I do tie flies commercially, so I go through quite a lot of bucktail at times. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all the shorter hairs out of the way. We need to reposition on the hairs. We'll do that. We'll get a little bunch here, and all this is going to do is just create a little bit of support for the Squimpish Hair, kind of like if we were tying saddle hackle. Now you can add saddle hackle to these flies if you'd like. You can do a combination of bucktail and Squimpish Hair, but we're just going to be, other than this bucktail, we're going to be tying almost entirely with Squimpish Hair and some angel hairs. Alright, so to start off, we have a little bit of bucktail. Now we can take some Squimpish Hair, and you can see this is just a long white patch I have here. I'm just gonna take a bunch about the size of a pencil, thickness wise. And again, same thing, you can grab some of the shorter hairs and get them out of the way. Now again, this hair is very long, so what you're going to want to do is you can essentially grab it by the hairs that are a little too long, and you can kind of just restack them, just so essentially we don't really have any waste here. But so this fly is going to be right around 9 to 10 inches. So I'm just going to cut this hair. Now let's just tie the Squimpish Hair in right around the hook point, essentially. Just going to go a couple nice tight wraps. Take our thumbnail, spread that around a little, like so. So we're going to take 2 pieces of Magnum Flashbou here. And this flash is very long. It's a little bit wider and thicker, stronger. We're just gonna take that, fold it once. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab two of the pieces of flash and kind of pull them out so they're kind of staggered. And then we're gonna take it, fold it again like so, and we're just gonna loop that right over the hook shank and just tie it on like so. Alright, next we're gonna take some of the cotton candy color here. Again, you can find all this hair at squimpishflies.com. The neat stuff about this is that the hair comes in very long, so you can essentially, sky's the limit. You could tie a 14-15 inch fly if you'd like, which is great for tying these larger bunker flies. But we'll get our hair stacked here, trim this nice and flush. We'll take this and tie that like so. Now when you're wrapping thread here, it can build up very quickly, so you want to use nice tight wraps. You want to apply a decent amount of pressure and not overdo it with the wraps. And in between, I like using a little bit of super glue here. Kind of secure that. Now we'll take two more pieces of the Magnum Flashbou. Now we are going to be using some angel hair with the Squimpish hair, so you don't want to make it too flashy. I'm not a fan of having too much flash in my flies when I'm fishing for striped bass and bluefish. And again, tie this in the same way we tied the last piece of flash. Now we're going to go with some olive, and we're just going to take another decent amount, about the thickness of a pencil, I'd say. And again, this is even longer. It's amazing. You could tie some really big bunker flies. Okay, so we get that lined up, and again, we want the fly to be around 9.5, 10 inches or so. Take that again, take our thumbnail and kind of spread it so the hair kind of opens up a little. Take a little super glue here. Again, apply that. Throw a couple wraps over it. So now we're gonna add some lead wire to the keel. To keel the hook. Now you could do this in the beginning, it doesn't really matter. I just completely forgot, to be honest with you. I'm trying to focus on filming. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut a piece of wire like so. And again, be careful not to touch your face while doing this. And I'm just gonna cut 3 pieces about, I guess, 1 inch long around. Maybe a little bit shorter. So essentially we're just gonna cut little pieces of lead like this. And what we'll do is we'll take this and tie this right in the middle on the bottom of the hook shank. And what we'll do is we'll tie 3 pieces, 1 in the middle and 1 on either side. And what this is going to do is this is going to act as a keel to essentially help keep the fly stable in the water, riding hook point down, and also make it easier to cast as well, which is another benefit. See, we got 3 pieces on there lined up. I'm gonna take that and wrap that up. And again, you can do this at the beginning, doesn't matter. Obviously you want to do it before you start tying further up the hook shank. So alright, so we have our lead keel tied on, we have our tail section done for good measure here. A little bit more super glue. Go through bottles of this stuff. So now what we'll do is we'll start working our way up, and we're essentially going to tie 3 hollow fly. So essentially we're just going to work our way up. We're going to start with 1 regular collar, and then we're going to do 2 hollow collars of the Squimpish hair. So start off again with some white for the bottom. We'll go around the same amount of hair we tied for the tail, maybe slightly less. Now you don't want to overdress the fly. Obviously you need to kind of keel the fly with the lead appropriately depending on how much material you use, but I try not to overdress my flies. Alright, so we got our bunch of Squimpish hair here, the white for the belly, and what we're going to do is we're going to tie this in normally, not hollow style. So what I want to do is try and gauge the length. I want it to be about maybe 1 inch shorter than the tail section. What we're essentially trying to do is taper the fly down as we go to give it a little bit more natural look. We'll start off just a little bit ahead of the hook point here, And we'll tie this hair in like so. Now there are a couple different things you can do. You can add filler material in between, like bucktail, maybe ostrich herl, craft fur, but I like to keep them pretty simple. Come out great in the end no matter what. So we have our white hair on the bottom here, kind of covering the bottom section, right? We're gonna go with a little pink on each side. Go with a little pink on each side right above the white here. A little bit on that side. Now we'll go with some olive for the top. Again, similar amount that we used for the tail section. Again, I don't want it to be too long, so we're going to make sure we get the hair to the right length. We want it to be just a little bit less than the tail. We'll attach our olive here. Gonna spread that around again. Now we can hit that with a little bit of super glue. By a little, I mean a lot. Alright, so now we're going to move to our first hollow collar section. Already have some white hair here ready. And what we'll do is, we're going to move our thread up some so we have enough room for 2 hollow collars. We're going to take our Squimpish material and tie that in like so. Spread that around evenly on the bottom. Then we'll take our olive and we'll add some olive here. Get the length right. We're going to take that and tie this in. Again, take our thumbnail, make sure we spread the hair evenly on top. Now we have our hair tied in the front, normal hollow collar style. What we'll do is we'll kind of get this split up, and I'm just using a spool of thread here. You can, you know, if you have any tools you can use a half of a pen. We'll just take this, all while making sure our thread goes in between the white and the olive Squimpish hair, like so. Again, making sure that your thread doesn't catch any of the material when you fold it through. What we'll do is we'll just wrap in front some. Now, as opposed to a normal hollow fly with bucktail, where the material's under tension, you use thread to keep it in place, building a thread dam, as you will. What we're going to do, and again, this is from David Nelson himself. Now, you may do this slightly different, but this is how I do it. We're actually going to use some super glue, and we're just going to apply a light amount right to where the material is folded over and just slightly back. And what we could do is, within a matter of 10 to 15 seconds, this is going to cure and it's going to keep its shape. Now, I've had flies that have lasted 10-15 fish, and even after the super glue kind of gives away, the fly is still producing fish. But if we're trying to achieve a certain profile, this is the way to do it. So there's a couple things you can do. You can kind of get it in place where you want it first and then apply it. You can also grab the material from behind and kind of apply some pressure like so. But I think I'm kind of digging the way this is looking right here. Just going to apply a small amount with the brush, kind of while trying to keep its shape. You can just kind of brush backwards slightly. Again, you don't want to go too far back with it. Maybe half an inch or so from where the material is folded back. Kind of get it in place. Now, just be careful because when it dries, it's staying where it's at. So make sure you get it to where you want it before it dries, and then just kind of speed it up. You can kind of take your thumbs here and kind of let that dry a little quicker. All right. So now you can see we got a nice profile here. The fly is still translucent, if you hold it up to a light. I like tying my flies pretty sparsely so they don't, so they still have some translucency to them in the water. All right, for the last collar, now what we're going to do is we're going to take some angel hair and we're actually going to blend it with some Squimpish hair. So I'm going to grab a little bit of Squimpish hair. We'll cut this off. Going to get all the shorter hairs out of the way. Now again, I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to try and get the length right. Alright, so we have a selection of Squimpish hair here. What we're going to do is I'm going to take some angel hair out of the bag here, and I'm going with some silver. You could use pearl. I'm just going to pull off some angel hair here. It's a little bit long, so what I'm going to do is just cut it right in the middle. And then what we're going to do is we have the angel hair and the Squimpish hair. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to essentially blend this in my hands. Just kind of loosely holding it on one end and then kind of just pulling it. And we're slowly just blending this hair with the angel hair. Gonna make a little bit of a mess, but we have some blended Squimpish hair. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie this in hollow style. Now, if you're tying if you want to tie a large amount of these, you can always make a big blend of hair first. So we got our white and silver blend. Now we're gonna take some pink. We don't need much. We'll take some pink angel hair as well and do the same thing as last time. The pink angel hair, and we'll just blend this in with the Squimpish hair. Then we have our own blend. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to tie in our olive Squimpish hair. Now don't make the mistake of tying in your secondary color first, because what we're going to do is we're going to tie our olive first, pink on the inside, so when we fold it back, it'll you won't have the pink on the outside. We get our olive Squimpish hair to the right length. Alright, so we have our olive hair. So we're going to tie this in first and then the pink. So the pink will be on the inside of the collar. Our pink on top. One thing you want to make sure you do is you wrap the thread forward evenly, otherwise you may, when you fold this back, the hair may not line up even. One last thing we're going to do is we're going to just take some alpaca hair here. Again, you don't have to use alpaca. I know it's a little strange, but it was given to me by David Nelson and it works great. Again, big shout out to David Nelson from Squimpish Flies. Amazing fly tire. We're going to take this and just tie this right on the inside on the white Squimpish hair. Now what we'll do is we'll take our push tool, make sure the hair is kind of spread evenly where we want it, kind of like so, and then we'll take our thread, weave that through. Get a little tricky here, so you just want to make sure nothing's wrapping around itself. And what we'll do is, before we finish this one, we're going to brush it out, and then we're going to kind of get the glue and get it in place. So I'm going to take a comb, we're going to start brushing this out. I usually have a dog comb, but I can't find it, so this will work. Now we're gonna throw a whip finish on. Okay. Alright, we're looking good. So now the final step before we glue our eyes on, we're gonna hit this with some super glue, and again, kind of get it where you want it in terms of the profile. Kind of liking the shape that it's got right now, so I'm just gonna take a light amount of super glue and just kind of go back about maybe half an inch or so. Again, trying to manipulate where the colors are in the hair, because once it dries, it's going to dry. But I want to make sure I have a nice profile on here. I know this is kind of strange, you know, I would have never thought to do this myself, but it really does work well. We got a nice profile here. You can see Nice shape to it. Again, it's not too heavily dressed. You can still see through it slightly, which again is, for me, a good indication of a fly. So there's a couple different things you can do for the eyes. We're going to be gluing some eyes. If you'd like, you could also use some tab eyes. Here I have some tab eyes from saltwaterflies.com. You could use something like this as well if you want, but we're going to go with something a little larger. We have a 3/8 of an inch molded eyes here. Kind of give you an idea. You don't want to go with eyes that are too large. They can kind of weigh down the fly, but you also don't want to go with eyes that are too small, especially if you're trying to tie a larger. Now we'll take our E6000 here. Just going to take one of the eyes and we're going to apply a very small amount of glue right to the back on one side of the eye. Now what that's going to do is we have the glue pooled up on one side. When I stick this on the fly, the glue is on the back side of the eye. So what we're able to do is we're able to press the eye down and push it back, thus coating the whole eye. It's a little tricky at first. You don't want to add too much glue because it will start to, you can see here we even have a little bit coming out of the side, so just to kind of be careful, give that a little bit. Now we'll go to the other side. Go to the other side again. Not too much glue, but enough to cover it. I'm gonna take that, push that back so it coats the whole eye. Try and make sure the eyes are even front to back. And then what you're going to want to do is just apply some pressure. You can use a kind of like a paper organizer clamp. I'm just going to hold this like so. Yeah, that's essentially it right there. Again, want to make sure you let the eyes cure for a certain amount of time before you fish it. Yeah, that's it. This is the Squimpish hollow fly. It's makes a great material for hollow flies. You can see the profile again. This is a fairly large fly, you know. You could take a Sharpie here, add some accents, give it a nice bunker look. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it's been a while since we've uploaded some content to the YouTube channel. We've been going pretty hard with the Twitch. We stream 2 to 3 days. We stream 2 to 3 days every week to Twitch with the fly tying. I'm trying to take more time to focus on the YouTube channel and make sure we upload content pretty steadily for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, go check out squimpishflies.com and you can use the coupon code LIFliesMike for 15% off if you want to try and tie one of these hollow flies yourself. You can also check out our Twitch channel. You can see here a scene from one of our Twitch streams. You can check us out every Wednesday and Friday night for live fly tying at twitch.tv/blockwizard, and hopefully you enjoy. We'll be coming back again soon for some more fly tying and fly fishing content. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see some more, and let me know what you think about the video down below in the comment section. So thanks again, and as always, tight lines.